Hello, Internet. It's time to read the Bible. For once, it wasn't my fault that I skipped last night. The Internet went out. So, there's that. Anyway, let's continue on with June 26th reading. We're reading 2 Kings chapter 9, verse 15b to chapter 10, verse 31. And for my voice, I don't know. I'm just gonna read. We'll see if we can do a Zoidburg. It's been a minute since I've watched the show.
Oh, why not? Since you want me to be king, Jehu told the men who were with him, don't let anyone escape to Jezreel to report what we have done.
That's not even close, but we're gonna stick with it.
Then Jehu entered a chariot and rode to Jezreel himself to find King Joram, who was lying there wounded. King Ahaziah to Judah was there too, for he had gone to visit him. The watchman of the tower of Jezreel saw Jehu and his company approaching and shouted, "Someone is coming! Send out a rider and find out if he is friend or foe." King Joram shouted back, "So a soldier rode out to meet Jehu. The king wants to know whether you are friend or foe," he demanded. "Do you come in peace?" "Why not Zoidburg?" Anyway, sorry, I'm trying to dial it in. This is not coming. But we're just keep at it. Jehu replied, "What do you know about peace? Get behind me." The watchman called out to the king that the messenger had met them, but was not returning. So the king sent out a second rider. He rode up to them and demanded, in the name of the king, to know whether their intentions were friendly or not. Jehu answered, "What do you know about friendliness? Get behind me." "He isn't returning either," the watchman exclaimed. "It must be Jehu, for he is driving so furiously." "Quick, get my chariot ready," King Joram commanded. Then he and Ahaziah of Judah went out to meet Jehu. They met him at the field of Naboth, and King Joram demanded, "Do you come as a friend, Jehu?" Jehu replied, "How can there be friendship as long as the evils of your mother Jezebel are around us?" Then King Joram refined the chariot horses around and fled, shouting, "King Ahaziah, there is treachery! Ahaziah, treason!" Then Jehu drew his bow and his full strength and shot Joram between the shoulders. "Oh, I don't think I'm be able to fix that." The arrow pierced his heart and sank down dead, and he sank down dead in his chariot. Jehu said to Bidkar, his assistant, "Throw him into the field of Naboth, for once when you and I were riding along behind us, his father Ahab, the Lord revealed this prophecy to me. I will repay him here on Naboth's property for the murder of Naboth and his sons. So throw him out on Naboth's field, just as the Lord said." Meanwhile, King Ahaziah of Judah had fled along the road to Beth-Haggan. Jehu rode after him, shouting, "Shoot him too!" So they shot him in his chariot at the place where the road climbs to Judah, near Ibleam. He was able to go on as far as Megiddo, but died there. His officials took him by chariot to Jerusalem, where they buried him in the royal cemetery. Ahaziah's reign over Judah had begun in the 12th year of the reign of King Joram of Israel. When Jezebel heard that Jehu had come to Israel, she painted her eyelids and fixed her hair and sat at the window. When Jehu entered the gate of the palace, she shouted at him, "How are you today, you murderer? You son of Zimri, who murdered his master." He looked up and saw her at the window and shouted, "Who is on my side?" And two or three eunuchs looked out at him. "Throw her down," he yelled. So they threw her out the window, and her blood splattered against the wall and on the horses, and she was trampled by the horses' hoofs. Oh, messy, but warranted. Then Jehu went into the palace for lunch. Mmm. Sorry, I'm trying my best. This is one of my favorite. Oh, well. It's just Jezebel. Who cares?
I guess Jehu is the one doing most of the stuff. She just died. Anyway,
Afterwards he said, "Someone go and bury this cursed woman. She is the daughter of a king." When they went out to bury her, they found only her skull, her feet, and her hands. When they returned and told him, he remarked, "This is just what the Lord said would happen. He told Elijah that the prophets, that dogs would eat her flesh, and that her body would be scattered like manure upon the field, so that no one else could tell who it was." There was no else there, just so no one could tell who it was. Yep. Then Jehu wrote a letter to the city council of Samaria and to the guardians of Ahab's 70 sons, all of whom were living there. Upon receipt of this letter, select the best one of Ahab's sons to be your king, and prepare to fight for his throne, for you have chariots and horses, and a fortified city, and an armory. But they were too frightened to do it. 2 kings couldn't stand against this man. What can we do? They said. So the manager of palace affairs and the city manager, together the city council as the guardians of Ahab's sons, sent him this message: "Jehu, we are your servants and will do anything you tell us to. We have decided that you should be our king instead of one of Ahab's sons." Jehu responded with this message: "If you are on my side and are going to obey me, bring the heads of your master's sons to me at Jezreel, and about this time tomorrow." These 70 sons of King Ahab were living in the homes of the chief men of the city, where they had been raised since childhood. When the letter arrived, all 70 of them were murdered, and their heads were packed into baskets and presented to Jehu at Jezreel. And a messenger told Jehu that the heads of the king's sons had arrived. He said to pile them into 2 heaps at the entrance of the city gate, and to leave them there until the next morning. In the morning he went out and spoke to the crowd that had gathered around him. "You aren't to blame," he told them. "I conspired against my master and killed him, but I didn't kill his sons. The Lord has done that. For everything he says comes true." He declared through his servant Elijah that this would happen to Ahab's descendants. Jehu then killed all the rest of the members of the family of Ahab who were at Jezreel, as well as all his important officials, personal friends, and private chaplains. Finally, no one was left who had been close to him in any way. Then he went out for Samaria and stayed overnight at the shepherd's inn along the way. While he was there, he met the brothers of King Ahaziah of Judah. "Who are you?" he asked. They replied, "We are brothers of King Ahaziah. We are going to Samaria to visit the sons of King Ahab and the queen mother Jezebel." "Grab them!" Jehu shouted to his men, and he took them out to the cistern and killed all 42 of them. And he left the inn. He met Jehonadab, the son of Rechab, who was coming to meet him. After they greeted each other, Jehu said to him, "Are you as loyal to me as I am to you?" "Yes," Jehonadab replied. "Then give me your hand," Jehu said, and he helped him into the royal chariot. "Now come along with me," Jehu said, "and see how much I have done for the Lord." So Jehonadab rode along with him. When he arrived at Samaria, he butchered all of Ahab's friends and relatives, just as Elijah, speaking for the Lord, had predicted. I think the main thing I'm having trouble with is that Zoidburg never really spoke for extended periods. He was basically like one-liners, maybe 1 or 2 sentences. So it's very difficult to dial in his cadence. Like I kind of expected my tone to be off, but like I'm not even feeling like it's Zoidberg unless I'm doing like one of the weird noises, like. I'm sorry, I shouldn't interrupt the Bible story to rant about my voices. I'm trying to stop that. But hopefully, even though it's not accurate Zoidberg, you're still enjoying both the story, which is very bloody this time. But I mean, eh, Jezebel and Ahab and all them were bad people, so I don't feel bad. But I know certain people like my mother hate it when anybody dies, even if they deserve it. So there. If you're feeling
Anyway, where was I? All right here. Ooh, ooh. All right. So they grabbed hand. I think I was here. Elijah speaking, the Lord had predicted. Then Jehu called the meeting of all the people of Israel and said to them, I have hardly worshipped Baal at all in comparison to the way I am going to. Dang it, Jehu. Summon all the priests and prophets of Baal, and call them together, all his worshippers. See to it that every one of them comes, for we worshippers of Baal are going to have a great celebration to praise him. Any of Baal's worshippers who don't come will be put to death. Is this a trap? Maybe I judged too soon. I just kind of expect the kings to get worse and worse at this point. Let's see, because I don't remember this part. It's been too long. Like I remembered, doesn't matter. I remembered some of the story. I don't remember this part. Yes, the very next line. But Jehu's plan was to exterminate them. He sent messengers throughout all Israel, summoning those who worshipped Baal, and they all came and filled the temple of Baal from one end to the other. He instructed the head of the robing room. Be sure that every worshipper wears one of these special robes. Mm-hmm. Then Jehu and Jehonadab, son of Rechab, went into the temple to address the people. Excuse me. Check to be sure that only those who worship Baal are here. Don't let anyone who worships the inside. Blah, blah. Don't let anyone in who worships the Lord. That's where the in was. As the priests of Baal began offering sacrifices and burnt offerings, Jehu surrounded the building with 80 of his men and told them, If you let anyone escape, you'll pay for it with your own life. As soon as he had finished sacrificing the burnt offering, Jehu went out and told his officers and men, Go in and kill the whole bunch of them. Don't let a single one escape. So they slaughtered them all and dragged their bodies outside. Then Jehu's men went into the inner temple, dragged out the pillar used for worship of Baal, and burned it. They wrecked the temple and converted it into a public toilet, which it still is today. Thus Jehu destroyed every trace of Baal from Israel. However, he didn't destroy the golden calves in Bethel and Dan. This was a great sin of Jeroboam, son of Nebat, for it resulted in all Israel sinning. Afterward, the Lord said to Jehu, You have done well in following my instructions to destroy the dynasty of Ahab. Because of this, you will cause your son, your grandson, and your great grandson to be the kings of Israel. But Jehu didn't follow the Lord God of Israel in all of his heart, for he continued to worship Jeroboam's gold calves that had been the cause of the great sin in Israel. So, half measures, unfortunately. He did one good thing, but he didn't follow after with his whole heart. I'm gonna abandon the Zoidburg. Uh, I'll keep trying. Maybe I should like pinch my nose. That might work. Now they traveled through the cities of Amphipolis, Apollonia, came to Thessalonica, where there was a Jewish synagogue. As was Paul's custom, he went there to preach, and for 3 Sabbaths in a row he opened the scriptures to the people, explaining the prophecies about sufferings of the Messiah and his coming back to life. No, I don't think that's something either. It's like closer in some ways and more different from others. Oh, well. Explaining the prophecies about sufferings of the Messiah and his coming back to life, and proving that Jesus is the Messiah. Some who listened were persuaded and became converts, including a large number of godly Greek men, and also many important women of the city. But the Jewish leaders were jealous and incited some worthless fellows from the streets to form a mob and start a riot. They attacked the home of Jason, planning to take Paul and Silas to the city council. Maybe I should just switch to to Dangerfield. Because it's like, I feel like Zoidberg is doing that voice, but with a different, like, tone and nasaliness and stuff to it. I don't know. Either way, I'm sorry, this is like the third or fourth time now I've stopped mid sentence because my own voice is bothering me. Maybe I shouldn't put this one up at all. I mean, I haven't got any viewers in like the last 6 videos. Maybe I should stop. No, that's Satan talking. We don't give up on the Bible. We don't give up on Christ. We carry through till the end, no matter what. And so I will keep doing this stupid voice.
Well, that's what Zoidburg would do. Alright, so mob. Where's the mob? There's the mob. They attacked the home of Jason, planning to take Paul and Silas to the city council for punishment. Not finding them there, they dragged out Jason and some other believers and took them before the council instead. Paul and Silas have turned the rest of the world upside down, and now they are here disturbing our city, they shouted. And Jason has left them into his home, and they are all guilty of treason, for they claim another king, Jesus, instead of Caesar. The people of the city, as well as the judges, were concerned at these reports, and let them go only after they had posted bail. That night the Christians hurried Paul and Silas to Beroea, and, as usual, they went to the synagogue to preach. But the people of Beroea were more open-minded than those in Thessalonica, and gladly listened to the message. They searched the scriptures day by day to check on Paul and Silas's statements, to see if they were really so. As a result, many of them believed, including several prominent Greek women and many men also. But in the Jewish Thessalonica learned that Paul was preaching in Beroea. They went over and stirred up trouble. The believers acted at once, sending Paul on to the coast, while Silas and Timothy remained behind. Those accompanying Paul went on with him to Athens, and then returned to Beroea with a message for Silas and Timothy to hurry and join him. It's a wonderful time. While Paul was waiting for them in Athens, he went deeply troubled by all the idols he saw everywhere throughout the city. He went to the synagogue for discussions with the Jews and devout Gentiles. He spoke daily in the public square to all who happened to be there. He also had an encounter with some of the Epicurean and Stoic philosophers. Their reaction was he told them about Jesus, and his reaction was, he's a dreamer, or he's pushing some foreign religion. But they invited him to the forum at Mars Hill. Come and tell us more about this new religion, they said. For you are saying some rather startling things, and we want to hear more. Hmm. I should explain that all Athenians, as well as all the foreigners in Athens, seem to spend all their time discussing the latest new ideas. So Paul, standing before them at the Mars Hill Forum, addressed them as follows. Men of Athens, I notice that you are very religious, for as I was out walking, I saw your many altars, and one of them had this inscription on it, To the unknown God. You have been worshipping him without knowing who he is, and now I wish to tell you about him. He made the world and everything in it, and since he is the Lord of heaven and earth, he doesn't live in man-made temples, and humans' hands can't minister to his needs, for he has no needs. He himself gives life and breath to everything. It satisfies every need there is. He created all the people of the world from one man, Adam, and scattered the nations across the face of the earth. He decided beforehand which would rise and fall. He determined the boundaries. His purpose in all of this is that they should seek after God and perhaps feel their way towards Him and find Him, though He is not far from any one of us. For in Him we have life and move and are. As one of your own poets said, we are the sons of God. If this is true, we shouldn't think of God as an idol made by men from gold or silver, or chipped from stone. God tolerated man's past ignorance about these things, but now He commands everyone to put away idols and worship only Him. For He has set a day for justly judging the world by the man He has appointed, and has appointed him out by bringing him back to life again. When they heard Paul speak of the resurrection of a person who had been dead, some laughed, but others said, we want to hear more about this later, and they ended Paul's discussion with them. But a few joined him and became believers. Among them was Dionysius, a member of the city council, and a woman named Damaris, and others. Psalms chapter 144, verse 1 through 15. Bless the Lord, who is my immovable rock. He gives me strength and skill in battle. He is always kind and loving to me. He is my fortress, my tower, my strength, my safety. He my deliverer. He stands before me as a shield. He subdues my power beneath. I misspoke. He subdues my people under me. O Lord, what is a man that you even notice him? Why bother at all with the human race? For man is but a breath, his days are like passing shadow. Bend down the heavens, Lord, and come, the mountains smoke beneath your touch. Let loose the lingering bolts your arrows. No, not lingering. Let loose your lightning bolts, your arrows, Lord, upon your enemies and scatter them. Reach down from heaven and rescue me. Deliver me from deep waters, from power of my enemies. Their mouths are filled with lies. They swear to the truth of what is false. I will sing you a new song, O God, with 10-stringed harp, for you grant victory to kings. You are the one who will rescue your servant David from fatal sword. Save me, deliver me from these enemies, these liars, these treacherous men. Here is my decision of a truly happy land where Jehovah is God. Sons, vigorous and tall as growing plants. Daughters, of graceful beauty like the pillars of a palace wall. Lawns, full to the brim with crops of every kind. Sheep by the thousands out in our fields. Oxen loaded down with produce. No enemy attacking the walls, but peace everywhere. No crime in our streets. Yes, happy are those whose God is Jehovah. Finally, for today, we have Proverbs chapter 17, verse 27 and 28. The man whose word, the man of few words and settled mind is wise. Therefore, even a fool is thought to be wise when he is silent. It pays him to keep his mouth shut.
I think after my little self speech, the voice got better. I tried like keeping my teeth shut to like let the sound reverberate in my head a little bit more, and I think it was closer. I still don't think it was perfect, but it was a lot better. At least it was better enough to not distract me while I was doing it. I think I just cut myself with a thread. Oh well. Um. So hopefully I'm done with that. Just reading's over. I hope you enjoyed my attempts at Zoidburg. I hope the reading and my little pep talk in the middle were enjoyable and edifying. Yes, edifying. Um, and as always, the most important thing: God bless you.